Hello viewers, good morning. Myself I am K. Bhaskar, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry at SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. In this video presentation, we are going to continue our discussion on the topic amines. Amines nothing but NH2 functional group. Right? In the last video presentation, we have discussed the definition of amines, classification of amines, preparation of amines, and interestingly we have also seen the various applications of amines in various industries like textile industry, garment industry, pharmaceutical industry, and how we use amines in a purification of water. Right? Now in this video presentation we are going to continue our discussion on the amines. Especially in this video presentation, these are the learning outcomes. You can see on the slide. By the end of this presentation, we will learn the phase transfer catalysis. That is, what is the catalysis, what is phase transfer catalysis, how do we use the amines in phase transfer catalysis, and we will also going to learn about the basicity of amines. That means we are going to compare the basicity of various amines, and if time permits we will also continue our discussion regarding the properties of amines. Right? Now you can see in the slide, we have already know amines nothing but these are the derivatives of ammonia. We get these amines by the replacement of hydrogen atom with the alkyl groups. You can see in the ammonia the hydrogen atom is replaced by methyl group to give methylamine. These are called amines, right? And this ammonia is having 3 hydrogen atoms, so we can replace 3 hydrogen atoms with the 3 alkyl groups to give 3 types of amines: primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amine. Right? So you can see here, this is the classification of amines. Amines are classified based on the number of alkyl groups attached to the nitrogen atom. If one alkyl group is attached to the nitrogen atom, that is called as primary amine. If 2 alkyl groups are attached, that is called as a secondary amine. If 3 alkyl groups are attached, that is called as tertiary amine. Of course, apart from this classification, we are having one more type of amine, that is quaternary ammonium salts. Quaternary ammonium salts, in which the nitrogen atom is connected to 4 alkyl groups. Right? You know the valency of nitrogen is 3. Generally it will form 3 bonds, but here it is forming 4 bonds, so thereby the nitrogen gets positive charge. So here in this the quaternary ammonium salts, the nitrogen atom is having positive charge. Right? This is the classification of amines. Now coming to the properties of amines. Right? The first one is very important. You can see in the slide, that is a phase transfer catalyst. What is a catalyst? You know, catalyst is nothing but it is a chemical substance which do not involve in the reaction, which do not participate in the reaction, but due to the presence of that chemical substance in the reaction, the rate of the reaction enhances. Right? That substance is called catalyst, and the phenomenon is called as catalysis. Right? But here you can see the term is phase transfer catalyst. This is somewhat different from the regular catalyst, which is known as a phase transfer catalyst. You know, many of the organic reactions takes place in a liquid phase. For that, we conduct the reaction using solvents. But it is rather unfortunate thing is that we lay stress more on the reacting substances. We ignore the importance of solvent in the chemical reactions. Right? But actually there is a much importance for the solvent in the chemical reactions. By changing the chemical reactions, you know, the course of chemical reaction may be reversed, or the course of chemical reaction may be changed. That means the reaction may takes place in a different manner. Right? So for that reason, as a chemist, we need to stress on the solvent, importance of the solvent also. Now here we are discussing the organic reactions. many of the organic reactions, majority of the organic reactions takes place in liquid phase, especially in organic solvents, right? Most of the organic reactions takes place in organic solvents, but of course there are some reactions in which we use the immiscible solvents for the conducting the chemical reaction. Here you can see the example in the slide. Here our reacting substance, that is alkyl halide, which is soluble in organic solvent, whereas the reagent, that is sodium cyanide, is an inorganic compound. It will soluble in polar solvents like water. So here we need immiscible solvents for conducting this reaction between the alkyl halide and sodium cyanide. Since these two solvents are immiscible, here there is no appropriate appreciable collisions between the two reactants. So thereby the rate of reaction decreases appreciably. So for that we use a catalyst. To increase the rate of reaction, we use the catalyst. And here just now we have discussed that these two reactants in our reaction are soluble in different solvent phases, immiscible solvents. Now here we need certain chemical substance which is helpful to transfer the reactant molecule from one phase to the other phase so that the reaction rate increases. That catalyst which is helpful in transferring the reactant species from one phase to the another phase, thereby increasing the rate of reaction, that substance is called as a phase transfer catalyst, and the phenomenon is called as phase transfer catalysis. Right? Now you got idea, I think. Once again I am reminding you, this phase transfer catalyst is nothing but it is a chemical substance which is helpful to increase the rate of reaction involving immiscible solvents. In that our catalyst will helpful in transferring the reacting species, that is group or the ion, from the one phase to the another phase. So thereby the rate of reaction increases. The chemical substance used for that is called as a phase transfer catalyst, and the phenomenon is called as phase transfer catalysis. Right? Here this is a nucleophilic substitution reaction. You know, in this the halide group is replaced by cyano group. This is a nucleophilic substitution reaction, and here our quaternary ammonium salt will act as a phase transfer catalyst. All the chemical substances do not have this property of a phase transfer catalyst. Only the substances having dual nature, that means substances which can dissolve, right? All the substances do not act as a phase transfer catalyst, but only certain compounds which are having dual nature, both the non-polar nature as well as polar nature, those compounds will act as a phase transfer catalyst. Now you can see here in the slide, our sodium cyanide is an inorganic compound which is soluble in aqueous solvent, and our alkyl halide is an organic compound which is soluble in organic solvents. But these two solvents, that is aqueous as well as organic solvents, are immiscible. There is a imaginary phase boundary between these two solvents. So thereby there are less number of collisions between the reactant species, that is alkyl halide as well as sodium cyanide. Less interaction, less number of collisions. So the rate of reaction is very less. By using this compound, that is quaternary ammonium salts, we can increase the rate of reaction. And you can see here the quaternary ammonium salt is having dual nature. That means due to the presence of plus and minus charge between the nitrogen and halide ion, that is ionic nature, because of this it gets polar nature. Because of this it will tend to move in aqueous solvents, that is polar solvents. due to the organic part, that is 4 methyl groups. This is of non-polar nature. Due to this alkyl chains, our quaternary ammonium salts will tend to dissolve in non-polar solvents like organic solvents. That means our quaternary ammonium salts have dual nature, polar nature as well as non-polar nature. Because of this, quaternary ammonium salts will easily dissolve in both the aqueous solvent as well as organic solvent. Right, you can see in the picture our quaternary ammonium salts are having both the polar nature as well as non-polar nature, that is hydrophilic nature, that is water loving species, as well as hydrophobic nature, that is non-polar nature, that is water hating tail. Because of this, our quaternary ammonium salts will act as a surfactant, that is emulsifying agents. Our quaternary ammonium salts will act as a emulsifying agents, and this property is helpful in making these compounds for making the detergents. To remove the oil stains on the clothes, this concept of micelle formation using the surfactants like quaternary ammonium salts having dual nature, that is hydrophilic nature as well as hydrophobic nature. This is the important application of quaternary ammonium salts. Right, now coming to our concept, that is phase transfer catalyst. Here our quaternary ammonium salt, in shortcut we will represent it as a QX. Q represents the tetraalkyl ammonium, right, whereas X represents the halide. Due to the polar nature, it will be soluble in aqueous phase, as well as due to the non-polar nature of alkyl groups, it is also tend to soluble in organic phase. There exists an equilibrium between the dissolved quaternary ammonium salt between the aqueous phase and an organic phase. When we add a little amount of quaternary ammonium salt, it will dissolve both the solvent, that is some of the amount will be soluble in aqueous phase and some amount will be soluble in organic phase. Now our quaternary ammonium salt is in two phases, whereas sodium cyanide is in aqueous phase, alkyl halide is in organic phase. In order to increase the number of collisions, in order to increase the interaction between these two reagents, reacting species, that is alkyl halide and as well as sodium cyanide, we need to transfer or carry the reactant species to only single phase. That is done, that job is done by our phase transfer catalyst, that is quaternary ammonium salt. You see here, in the first step what happens, our quaternary ammonium salt will react with the sodium cyanide which is in the aqueous phase, and thereby there is an exchange of halide and cyanide group. Now our cyanide group is with the quaternary ammonium salt. Now this will be carried to the organic phase, that is in second step. Second step involves the transfer of cyano group from the aqueous phase to the organic phase by the quaternary ammonium salt. Right, this quaternary ammonium salt carrying the cyanide ions from the aqueous phase to the organic phase. Now you can see in the third step, the reactant species cyano group as well as alkyl halide are in the single phase, which is due to the transfer of cyano group with the help of quaternary ammonium salts. We have transferred the cyano group from the aqueous phase to the organic phase. Now here both the reacting species are in the single phase, that is in organic phase. You can see in the third step, these two will interact to give the compound, that is alkyl cyanide, which is the required product. And again this process continues in a cyclic manner, that is our quaternary ammonium salt will again come to the aqueous phase and again it will react with the sodium cyanide, which carries the cyanide from the aqueous phase to the organic phase. This will take place in a cyclic manner, right? By adding just a little amount of quarter ammonium salt, this will act as a catalyst which will helpful in transferring the reacting species from one phase to the other phase, thereby increasing the rate of reaction. Such catalyst is called a phase transfer catalyst, and the phenomenon is called as a phase transfer catalysis, right? In this way, in some reactions we use immiscible solvents, because one reacting species is soluble in one solvent medium, another reacting species is soluble in another solvent medium. In that cases, in order to increase the rate of collision, in order to increase the rate of reaction, we need a third chemical substance which is helpful to transfer the reacting species from the one phase to the other phase, right? This is what about the phase transfer catalyst. Coming to the second property, that is basicity. What is a base? According to the Lewis concept, base is nothing but a species having lone pair and which donates lone pair to other species is called as base, right? Coming to the second property of amines, you know amines are nothing but the NH2 functional group having lone pair, right? Whichever the species having lone pair, if donate to the other species, that will act as a base. Base is nothing but a electron pair donor. Our amines are also electron pair donors. They donate the electron pairs present on the nitrogen atom to the lone pairs, to the empty orbitals. You can see in the slide, our amines are acting as the electron pair donors. They donate the electron pair present on the nitrogen atom of the amine to the empty orbitals on the boron atom of the trifluoroboron, that is boron trifluoride. Here our amine is a electron pair donor which acts as a Lewis base, and boron trifluoride having empty orbital accepting the lone pair which acts as a Lewis acid. Thereby there is a formation of coordinate covalent bond between the amine and boron trifluoride, right? Here amines usually act as a base because they are electron pair donors, and here the basicity depends on the availability of electron density on the nitrogen atom. More the electron density on the nitrogen atom, then easily it can donate the electron pair, thereby its basicity increases. Now let us try to compare the basicity of various amines. You know amines are of three types: primary, secondary, tertiary, based on the number of alkyl groups attached to the nitrogen atom. Here in the primary, nitrogen is connected to one alkyl group. In the secondary, it is connected to two alkyl groups. In tertiary, it is connected to three alkyl groups. No doubt in all the three amines we are having only one lone pair on the nitrogen atom, but due to the difference in the surrounding environment, that is alkyl groups, due to the different electronic effects, different amines will have different electron density on the nitrogen atom, thereby their basicity changes. We know alkyl groups are plus I groups, that is plus inductive effect groups. So thereby there is a partial displacement of sigma bonded electrons towards nitrogen atom due to the presence of plus I groups. You see, in primary amine we are having one plus I alkyl group, thereby the electron density increases. In secondary we are having two alkyl groups. Here the electron density increases to more extent compared to the primary, whereas in tertiary we are having three plus I alkyl groups, thereby the electron density increases to much extent. In primary, due to the presence of one alkyl group, the electron density is somewhat less compared to the tertiary. You see, in tertiary it is having three alkyl groups, thereby the electron density on the nitrogen atom is more, so it can easily donate the electron pair to the other species it can easily donate the electron pairs on the nitrogen atom, because here the availability of electrons on the nitrogen atom is high. It can easily donate the electron pairs. Thereby we can say that the tertiary amine is a strong base compared to the primary amine. Now, according to our discussion, since in the tertiary amine it is having 3 alkyl groups, therefore the availability of electrons on the nitrogen atom is high, therefore it can easily donate its electron pair, therefore its basicity is high compared to the amine, and this is the order of basicity as per the theoretical discussion. But now if you look at the experimental results, it shows somewhat different order, which is different from the our discussed previous order. This is the theoretical order of basicity, but experimental results shows that the actual order of basicity is the secondary amines have they act as strong base compared to the tertiary amines. This we can explain based on the steric effect, steric hindrance. What is steric effect? What is steric hindrance? You can see here, due to the presence of 3 bulky alkyl groups in the tertiary amine, it cannot easily donate the electron pair to the other species due to the spatial phenomenon. Due to the presence of 3 bulky groups, the Lewis acid will not approach the tertiary amine because of the spatial phenomenon. Because of the bulky groups of 3 alkyl groups, the Lewis acid cannot approach the tertiary amine to accept the electrons. No doubt it is having higher electron density around this nitrogen atom, but due to the steric hindrance, due to the spatial phenomenon, due to the presence of 3 bulky alkyl groups, they will not allow the incoming Lewis acid to accept these electron pairs. Because of this reason, tertiary amine is having less basicity. So thereby this is the actual basicity order of the amines, that is secondary amines have higher basicity than the primary, and primary have more basicity than the tertiary. Right? Now let us try to compare the basicity of aliphatic amines and as well as aromatic amines. What are aliphatic amines? In this, the nature of the hydrocarbon is of aliphatic in nature, whereas in aromatic amines, in this the nature of hydrocarbon is of aromatic in nature. You can see here, due to the Si alkyl group in aliphatic amines, there is an increase in the electron density around the nitrogen atom, thereby it can easily donate the electron pairs, therefore its basicity is high compared to the aromatic amines. You can see in the aromatic amines, due to the plus Me effect of amino group, here the lone pair electrons present on the nitrogen atom of the amino group will involve in the resonance. Now the lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen atom no more available on the nitrogen atom. They are no more available on the nitrogen atom. They are not localized on the nitrogen atom itself. They are involved in the delocalization. Those lone pair of electrons will involve in the resonance. They are not localized electrons. Those are not available on the nitrogen atom. They are not free. They are involved in the resonance. Therefore, its basicity is less. Right? Okay. In this slide, let us try to discuss about the effect of a substituent in the benzene nucleus on the basicity of aromatic amines, that is aniline. You see in the slide, we have taken withdrawing group as well as donating groups as the substituent on the benzene nucleus of the aniline. Due to the presence of donating group on the benzene nucleus, the benzene ring activates. The pi electron density in the benzene ring increases. Thereby, the nitrogen atom of the amine in that complex increases. The availability of electron density in these complexes, in these compounds, are high. Therefore, its basicity is high. Compared to the normal aniline, aniline having electron donating substituents in the benzene nucleus are more basic. Whereas in the case of aniline having a withdrawing group on the benzene nucleus, due to the presence of withdrawing group, it deactivates the benzene nucleus. Thereby, the pi electron density in the ring decreases, with which there is a decrease in the availability of electron density on the nitrogen atom of the amine group. Therefore, these amines having electron withdrawing group substituents in the benzene nucleus are less basic. This is the order of basicity. You can see in the slide, the aniline with donating group is higher basic than the aniline, and aniline is higher basic than the aniline having electron withdrawing group on the benzene ring. Right? Now let us try to discuss the effect of substituent on the nitrogen atom of the aniline on the basicity. Here we have taken the three examples, that is N-N dimethyl aniline, N-methyl aniline, aniline. If you look at the N-N dimethyl aniline, it is having two alkyl substituents on the nitrogen atom of the aniline. And N-methyl aniline is nothing but it is a aniline with one alkyl substituent on the nitrogen atom. We know the methyl groups are the plus I groups. They donate the electron pairs towards the nitrogen atom. So therefore, due to the presence of two plus I methyl groups in the N, dimethyl aniline, the electron density on the nitrogen atom increases. Therefore, it can easily donate its lone pair. Its basicity is high. Compared to the N-methyl aniline and aniline, N, dimethyl aniline is having higher basicity. Whereas in case of N-methyl aniline, due to the presence of only one plus I methyl group, its basicity is in between the N-methyl and N, dimethyl aniline and as well as aniline. Right? This is the order of basicity. You may have one doubt here. Here our N, dimethyl aniline is a tertiary amine. Maybe due to the presence of steric hindrance, the acid may not approach this amine, so thereby its basicity might be less compared to the N-methyl aniline and as well as aniline. But it is not true. Here it may be noted that even though this is a tertiary amine, here the steric hindrance is very less in this case, because here in all the three compounds the bulky group is phenyl group. Right? In all the three compounds, due to the addition of a methyl group, its steric hindrance does not influence. The addition of methyl group on the nitrogen atom does not influence the steric hindrance, because here already in all these three compounds we are having bulky phenyl ring on them. Right? Here there is no question of steric hindrance due to the addition of methyl groups. Only we have to discuss the electronic effects. Right? Due to the electronic effects, we know, we have already discussed now, due to the presence of two plus I alkyl groups in N, dimethyl aniline, its basicity is high. Right? Now let us try to discuss the effect of a substituent on the benzene nucleus, that is ortho position, meta position as well as para position. In this slide I have taken electron donating group as the substituent at three different positions. One is at ortho position, another is at meta position, another is at para position. In these three compounds, the compound name is toluidine, orthotoluidine, metatoluidine, paratoluidine. In all these three toluidines, Due to the presence of electron donating methyl groups, their basicity is high compared to the normal aniline. But here in this slide we are discussing the comparing the basicity of these three compounds, that is ortho, meta, para, toluidine. Irrespective of the nature of the substituent on the benzene ring, always ortho substituted anilines are less basic. What I am saying, once again I am repeating you, please keep this statement in your mind. This is very important statement, that is irrespective of the nature of the substituent, the ortho substituted anilines are less basic. This is because of the concept called steric hindrance, which is known as ortho effect. Because of the ortho effect, the ortho substituted anilines, irrespective of the nature of the substituent, they exhibit less basicity due to the steric hindrance. Higher steric hindrance in these ortho substituted anilines, irrespective of the nature of the substituent, the incoming acid will not approach this base to accept the electron pair. Therefore, always ortho substituted anilines are less base. Right? Now let us try to compare the basicity of the meta as well as para toluidine. In these two isomers, that is meta isomer and para isomer, para toluidine is more basic in nature because in this the methyl group is at para position. We know already that the substituents show their effect more effectively when they are present in ortho as well as para positions. This is called electronic effects are more at ortho and as well as para positions. Thereby, the electron density in para toluidine on the nitron atom is high. Thereby, its basicity is high compared to the meta toluidine. With this, we can say that this is the order of basicity. That is, ortho toluidine is less basic than the meta, which is more less basic than the para. Right? Now let us try to compare the effect of substituent, that is withdrawing group on the benzene ring of the aniline group. Here I have taken the nitroaniline, ortho, para, meta, nitroaniline as the example. In all these three compounds, due to the presence of nitro group, the electron density in the benzene ring decreases, thereby the availability of electron density on the nitron atom decreases, their basicity decreases. Therefore, all these three compounds will exhibit less basicity compared to the normal aniline. Now we are trying to compare the basicity of ortho, para, meta isomers. Just now I have told you that irrespective of the nature of the substituent, ortho substituted anilines exhibit less basicity because of the steric hindrance. Right? That is called ortho effect. Due to the ortho effect, ortho nitroaniline exhibits less basicity. Now let us try to compare the para and meta isomer. In meta isomer and para isomer, para is more basic, right? Sorry, para is less basic because in the para, the nitro group is at the para position to the amine group, thereby it decreases the electron density much more effectively than the meta position, because always the substituents show their electronic effects when they are present at ortho and para positions. The para nitro group will effectively withdraw the electrons from the amine group, thereby the electron density decreases in this para nitroaniline, its basicity decreases. So finally we can say that the meta nitroaniline is more basic than the para than the ortho isomer. Right? This is what about the effect of substituents on the basicity of aromatic amines. Right? Right. Now let us discuss the properties of amines. The first one is reaction with water. All the primary, secondary, tertiary amines will combine with the water to form ammonium hydroxides, corresponding ammonium hydroxides. Methylamine to give methyl ammonium hydroxide. Dimethylamine will combine with the water to give dimethyl ammonium hydroxide. trimethylamine combine with water to give trimethyl ammonium hydroxide. Right. Similarly, our amines will also combine with the acid to give ammonium salts. Right. Since all the amines will act as a base, they will combine with the acid to form salts. You see here the primary amine, that is methylamine, combines with the hydrochloric acid to give methyl ammonium chloride, and secondary amines, that is dimethylamine, combines with sulfuric acid to give the salt. Similarly, tertiary amines will also combine with acid to give salts. In this way, amines will combine with acids to give salts. Coming to the alkylation reaction, you know all the amines will undergo alkylation to give alkylated amines. You see the primary amine can be converted into secondary amine. Secondary amine, that is diethylamine, will undergo alkylation by reacting with the ethyl halide to give triethylamine. Finally, this triethylamine will also undergo alkylation to give quaternary ammonium salts. Right? In this way, the primary amine will undergo alkylation to give secondary amine, tertiary amine, as well as quaternary ammonium salts. Right? Coming to the acylation reaction, amines will undergo acylation, that is N-acylation, in which the hydrogen atom of the amine is replaced by acetyl group. Right? In presence of acid medium. Right? Sorry, in presence of base medium, our amines will undergo acetylation. You can see here methylamine to give N-methyl acetamide, dimethylamine to give dimethyl acetamide. Whereas tertiary amines do not have hydrogen atoms to undergo acetylation, so tertiary amines do not undergo acetylation. Right? Dealkylation, you see all the amine salts upon heating loses alkyl halide to form amines. In the first example, you see the salt of tertiary amine upon heating gave secondary amine with a loss of methyl chloride. Similarly, the salt of dimethylamine, that is secondary amine, gives primary amine with a loss of methyl chloride. Similarly, the salt of primary amine, that is methyl amine, will undergo dealkylation to give ammonia as the product. This is what about the dealkylation. If you try to summarize what we have learned in this video presentation about the amino alkanes, the important points are the quaternary ammonium salts, due to its dual nature, that means our quaternary ammonium salts will soluble in both the polar solvents as well as non-polar solvents. Because of this dual nature, quaternary ammonium salts are helpful in phase transfer catalysis. They act as phase transfer catalyst. What is phase transfer catalyst? This is a chemical substance which is helpful in transferring the reacting species from one phase to the other phase, thereby increasing the rate of reaction. Right? We have also compared the basicity of various amines, and we have also discussed the properties of amines like alkylation, acetylation, as well as dealkylation of ammonium salts. I think right now you are feeling very comfort with what we have learned in the video presentation. If you have any doubts, please post your questions or doubts in the comment section, and your questions will be answered there. Right? Finally, thank you for going through the video presentation, and here is a proverb for you: nurture the nature for the future. Thank you.